Well, the Coyotes, I have to admire them for getting out ahead of it. So Christian Dvorak is not a restricted free agent. He would have been next summer. John Chayka clearly sat down with his agent and said, hey, let's hash this out now. So we're not dealing with what other teams are dealing with restricted free agents right now. He signs a 6-year contract for a total of $26.7 million. $4.45 million cap hit for 6 years. And it hasn't been released yet how much of that is bonus money and how much of it isn't. But, I look at contracts like this, and again, I feel my age when I see this kind of contract. $4.45 million for a guy that we don't think has hit his prime yet, but he should soon. So the next 7 years, he's a Coyote. And there's a side of this that I always think back to, in the 80s and the 90s, and you would see players rotated out, and you might see a guy score 15, 20 goals. 3 years later, he's out of the league. And it is impossible for us to predict. We can look at numbers and we can say, oh, well, this is good. There's a lot of speculation that happens with contracts now. So when I look at this kind of thing and I see a guy who's 22 years of age and, again, hasn't reached his potential yet, had an excellent second half for the Coyotes, as a lot of Coyotes did. A lot of attention got paid, and rightfully so, to Antti Raanta and how well he played. He was fantastic. But guys like Dvorak were playing well, and even Dylan Strome, for all the talk about him good and bad, mostly bad, he played relatively well in a call-up with Arizona as well. So there are reasons to be optimistic if you're a Coyotes fan, and Strome is one of those reasons to be optimistic. It just seems like a lot of money to me. And it seems like a lot of money to me to pay to a guy who isn't a restricted free agent until next summer. And yet, as I said at the start of this, he got out ahead of it. GMs now are trying to get out ahead of these restricted free agents. So you look at a guy like Hanifin and what's going on in Calgary. You look at Nylander with Toronto. Get out ahead of it. You don't have to worry about it. My only thing is you look at Nylander and Hanifin and their talent level and where it is. You look at a Dvorak and, good American-born kid. I'm wondering, is this a contract he can live up to? And then, again, this may end up being a bargain, may be viewed as a bargain 2-3 years down the road, could be viewed as a bargain next summer. It's one of those wacky deals that gets signed, and I look at it and I say, seems like a lot of money for a guy who hasn't scored 20 goals, a lot of money for a guy who hasn't eclipsed, 37 points this past year? It feels like a lot of money. And $26.5 million, I understand that may be the market and the going rate, but there is risk in this, in that it is speculation. It is John Chayka saying, we believe this guy is going to be part of our core moving forward. He's going to end up being a top 6 forward. You don't give a guy $4.5 million if you think he's going to stay on the third line for his whole career. And he'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of it, but he'll be 29 at the end of it too. So they've signed him through his likely best, most productive seasons. We'll see how smart this move is. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure Coyotes fans should be pretty happy about this because, honestly, as I said, he had a very good second half. It's one of those contracts I look at and I think this could be great. It could be a contract they look at 2 years down the road and say he probably got more money than maybe he should have. There are contracts like that around the league, and I'll likely do a video on that once we get rolling into the season because there's probably still going to be some contracts to get signed that could end up being in that category. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Always interested to know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.